Good evening everybody, welcome back to Contest of Speed Tier 3. We're live from the Circuit of the Americas, aka COTA for short. My name is Dan, I will be your commentator this evening. Sat alongside me, as always, the dynamic duo that we are. Matt's here.
Yay! I'm trying to be excited about this one.
Yeah, well, I think it will be. It's Tier 3, isn't it? It's Tier 3.
Tier 3. Yeah, Tier 3 will provide entertainment as always.
They will, they'll perk up your evening. So,
keeps on giving.
Shall we do some housekeeping?
Oh, you know I love a bit of housekeeping.
Yeah. Take it away after last week's shambles. He's gone. He will not be coming back.
Really? I never would guess.
No, you wouldn't, would you? But yeah, he's gone. He's not coming back. What else is there? Rocco G60 has finally joined officially. He is now in the Ferrari and has taken over from Ross for the last 3 races of the season. We will be holding a silent lap on lap 19 in honour of Antoine Hubert. So as soon as the then race leader crosses the line on the start of lap 19, myself and Matt will shut up, basically, for the whole lap. And then I was trying to think of a nice way to say it, but there isn't really one, is there? We'll just be quiet.
No, we'll be quiet, but you know what's going to happen, don't you? The sod's law is we're going to see something amazing. We can't really say anything about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's out of respect, isn't it?
It is. It is. And then some other news for anybody who isn't aware. Juan Manuel Correa, who was also involved in the accident, has successfully had some surgery this afternoon and this evening to help with his injuries. He's still in intensive care, but once his condition improves, he is being transferred back to the United States to be with his family on a more permanent basis. So that's some good news. That came out about an hour ago via Formula 2's Twitter page, and I'm sure there'll be some more news there if anyone's interested. But let's do the important stuff first. First? No, it's now. Let's do the important stuff now. Thomas, first man on track to start a flying lap. He is on the soft tyre. It should be an easy one-stop race. Soft to mediums.
Yeah, that's what I was right about. The whole one-stop race kind of being a bit.
Yeah, it's going to be dull.
Whereas, you know, I think we were a bit spoiled last week, weren't we? Yeah, we had 2-stop races. We had rain in some tiers.
Yeah. It's gonna have to be a hell of a race to live up to last week, but I think there's potential. There is potential within that one-stop strategy to vary the undercut level that you go for. The soft tyre will last anything up to 11 to maybe 12 laps into the race.
That's all dependent, I feel, of how I think. Oh, I've just seen a spinner.
We've got a spinner.
Dump did a full 360, beautiful pirouette, and he's back facing the right direction. Where was I? Oh yes, tyre temperatures, especially a front tyre in particular, could be quite hot if you're going to be very aggressive early doors.
There is that. Yeah, we've got Ricky in the chat as well. He says 2-stop isn't completely out of the question. No, it isn't. But you're going to have to be like lightning to be able to pull that off, I think, and make it work. Either that or get lucky with a lot of traffic and people fighting each other. Thomas' first lap with a 1:32.1. I would guess pole position is going to be around the 31.5, given that Sergey's in here.
So back here at the same time.
Yeah, that would be my guess. A couple of guys coming in behind, some slower lap times than Thomas at the moment.
I mean, I've seen Perry complete a lap already, and he's crossed the line 8th invalidated, so I presume it's that S section, which tonight is going to be so important for drivers to get absolutely spot on.
It is.
See if they can be consistent. That's the important thing.
Certainly is. We could see a lot of penalties. Let's jump across to the new boy in the Ferrari. That's Rocco. Just started his final.
Miscommunication down there. I'm sorry. He ran into the back of each other, which wouldn't have been particularly very good. As you were.
Yeah, Rocco G60 coming down towards the hairpin to start the long back straight. Second of 2 DRS zones on this circuit. Got some of the ever-presents in the chat. Pure Blades is here. Ricky's here. The Two-Spell Wizard is here supporting Titchy. I've got some plugs to do a little bit later on, but I'm going to wait until we get a few more viewers yet.
Oh, I love a good plug, I do. Oh.
Yeah. So Rocco coming through what I'm going to call Verstappen's curve until someone does something funny on it.
Right. Okay. I've been crunching the numbers.
Yeah.
It cannot be won this evening.
It cannot. So the Drivers' Championship will go down to Brazil. And maybe even Abu Dhabi.
Points up for grabs, and 9 points separating Sergey and Perry.
78 points. 78 points up for grabs, mate. Fastest lap.
Yes, fastest lap, of course.
Let's have a look at one of those people that will be battling for third. Lewis in the running very wide.
I mean, considering the other one's not here, you've only really got one to choose from.
Pure Blades in the chat saying the Eat the Cookie Grandstand have upped sticks and moved to the US. They're currently sat in the S section. Give us a wave as we go past on camera. We'll be watching. Lewis comes around the final corner. 33.0 for him.
I would suggest there's a lot of time to be improved after we saw him run wide.
Yeah, there will be. He'll come back in. That'll be his banker lap. Let's jump back down to Perry, who's out on the mediums. And I understand he was testing some alternative strategies earlier on, so maybe starting on the medium is one of them.
Probably under the influence of Blank.
Potentially, although I have it on good authority that Blank is stuck on an island this week, building a runway. So,
okay.
At least I think he said it was a runway he was building. It's something to do with an airport. So I feel Blank's influence is limited this week.
I mean, there's some good times on the mediums. Sergey 32.9 and Eat the Cookie again, showing that he's got some pace up with, we would say, the front runners of this tier.
Definitely so. Just under a tenth behind Sergey as well, who you would say is the fastest man at the moment in this tier. Got Rosa Sky in the chat. He will be joining the league from next season. It's nice to have you with us. Somewhere in Canada, Blades. I don't know exactly. It's a big place.
I mean, anything's big. Anything's big when you compare it to the UK, isn't it?
In terms of geographical scale, yes. Yes, I suppose it is. It might be, Blades. I'm not sure. It might be that. You did tell me, but the location just sort of went in and then straight out. All I heard was I'm building something to do with an airport.
Who is on that? Not gonna be. Whoa! Won't be Rocco because he's spun it.
Oh, he has. We've got a spinner.
That is, he's dropped it. Turn 15. He's a turn 16.
The Verstappen curve will now be renamed
Rocco curve.
Rocco's roundabout. Oh, he's gone again. Rocco's roundabout. That's what we're calling it.
You've got on the grass, your tyres are too hot, and you're going to floor it, and you're going to spin round again.
To be fair, he might want to spin round to go back the way he's supposed to. It's a good job he's waiting for everybody, though. That's a terrible camera angle. Back to the TV pod.
That's second to last corner. That is pretty shoddy.
He'll crawl his way back to the pits. And seeing as... Whoa, that's not a good sound. Seeing as he's the man that just came through, let's jump on board with Sergey and he can drive us round the full lap. A nice incline into turn 1 means you can brake later, more speed. And we're going to the long swooping S section. It's got to be so precise.
Yeah, it's a very technical first opening part of the lap, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Difficult braking zone and then the S section. Nice and flowing.
So if you get the line right, then it's brilliant, but it throws you out massively.
Top of the hill blind corner as well. Runs down into the hairpin.
Down the long back straight.
He's going to look for a toe. Force India didn't really want to give it to him.
And as you notice, we've set the time to official, which means that the sun is in a very unfortunate place, coming down into the curve he's just gone through. I can't remember the number, and then the final corner as well. And you'll see when we get there. And I love this corner here. Just like that, the camber just yeah.
I think it's also about the different lines. There's quite a few corners around the straight where you can take different lines.
Yeah.
Different drivers have different ways of going about it. Runs wide, see if you get away with it.
Oh, that could be a cut on the inside there.
It was.
It was. He's going to try and go again though, I think.
Run out of ERS. At the moment, Thomas is provisionally on pole, followed by Sygate Perry, who won last season's race here. Showing a strong performance as Thomas improves. 10.
Oh, you're getting pulled up in the chat for calling it a Force India and not a Racing Point.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Allow yourselves.
You've done a Crofty.
Still Force India.
Yeah, I know.
I had this argument on Sunday.
I mean, if we're going to be really pedantic, then it's Sport Pacer Racing Point, isn't it? It's actually Sport Pacer Score Racing Point Formula 1 team, which is the most ridiculous name.
I mean, the Haas team being Rich Energy, but you know.
Well, are they Rich Energy now? Are they still Rich Energy Haas? Speaking of, we're going on board with Redcom. I suppose, yeah, they are still.
On the lap. He won't be on the lap if he's 3 seconds down.
No, I think he's going to be. Maybe he's on a recharge, I think.
No, he's not got enough fuel.
Yeah, fair point. What about the McLaren of Forza Fredo? Is he on a lap or is he coming in?
No, but I'm going to watch Rocco. Currently down in P16. He's started another hot lap. This, I would suggest, would be his last run. Qualifying. Runs very, very wide and puts in the wall.
In the wall again for Rocco. Not a great start for him.
No, but that's quite an easy mistake to do. He's
where's he?
Deep, put it on the curve.
Lost the back end out of turn 1.
Yes, stop.
So unlucky for him.
Hopefully come back round nice and quick. May have a chance to go again.
Maybe. Who's going to be the first man out next? Eat the Cookie or Stumpy? Let's give Stumpy some airtime in the Racing Point.
While you do that, I'm going to watch Millsy.
You watch Millsy, one of the ever-presents of Tier 3 in the Toro Rosso. So just wait for Stumpy to come back around to start his next lap. I will just reiterate that lap 19 of the race will be a silent lap. Me and Matt will be shutting up at that point in our tribute, if you like, to Antoine Hubert, as lap 19 was his race number. And that will be going on throughout the week as well, in all 3 streams. So, Stumpy heading up towards turn 1. Let's take that nicely, and down through turn 2 towards the S's. It's right on board. Let's take a lot of curb, and he's in a very high gear for these corners. Back end steps out, and that's his lap gone, and he's in the wall, and he's out. It's that easy, folks. It's a little bit too early on the power, a little bit too much steering lock, and you're in the wall, and that's his qualifying over. Thankfully, he managed to get a time in, though. So, Cookie, I think...
bailed out his lap.
Cookie's about to cross the line to set a new time, and goes quickest, 31.9 on the soft tyre. Everyone's on out laps. Sygate's the next one to start. And he'll be coming up on Cookie in the middle of the S's, so hopefully the Renault will get out of the way for him.
Right, I'm going to be on board with championship leader Sergey. He's run on the soft tyre. Currently down in 8th, so needs to put a big lap in here.
He's the only man to have set a time on the medium tyre.
As well as Cookie before that soft time.
Yeah, of course. Sargate now heading up down the straight towards the second split, and we'll see what sort of times he's setting now. Is he improving? I missed sector 1. I was looking at the chat. So, sector 2 split. Up 3.5 tenths. See if he can keep it going.
It's going to be close. He's still got to find about a quarter of a second.
If he wants to have a real challenge for pole, yeah, he does. But at the minute, he will be on it. So let's see, through the final corner, has he managed to hold the speed or even find some? Saige for the line. Goes quickest, 31.7. Great lap from him. But now let's jump back. Thomas next, I think. Sergey goes quickest.
1.6.
But he's done that early in the timings. And then
Perry, I think, is going to be the last to cross the line.
Yeah, championship rival. Sergey won his home race in Sochi. Can Perry win it in Austin? Let's find out. Thomas, though, will be first on our viewing to cross the line. Can he retake pole? Runs wide at the final corner. Time, but doesn't improve his position.
KV jumps up to 10th.
KV's up to 10th. Tennis Freak. 3 corners to go through Rocco's roundabout.
Racer jumped to 6th there at the end.
2 Red Bulls lying in prime position to cause some damage.
Dan Hilton also improves, goes up to 11th.
Tennis Freak improves his time, but does not improve his position again. And then we're down to 2.
Yeah, Forza Fredo's going to bang out his lap. Just Perry goes second.
Perry goes second. Fredo and Ticci are going to be the next to cross. Fredo's bailed out. Ticci to cross the line and be the final man. Doesn't improve his time.
And Sygate's in as well. So that is everybody.
It's just Sergey left out on track. And I'm going to see him, he'll dive into the pit lane now. Indeed he does. That's all she wrote. Sergey takes pole position from Perry. The two championship rivals, first and second on the grid. Finally, Red Bull have a good qualifying session.
We've not seen that much since the break, have we?
We haven't. They've had howlers of qualifying sessions in recent weeks, which is very unfortunate for them. But now the championship hotting up. They've pulled it out of the bag. Pure Blades has pointed out in the chat, and I've just noticed as well, the gaps between 4th and 5th, Cookie and Thomas, 1,000th of a second between those two. That could make all the difference. So as these guys get ready to go racing, I'm going to let Matt run through the order, and I'm going to go and grab my notepad.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Hang on, the roles are reversed.
No, do your thing.
Lovely. Sergey on pole, followed by Perry. So as it is in the championship side grade, with a good performance in third place. Eat the Cookie, 4th. Thomas 5th. Lewis getting a good qualifying session in 6th. Fredo 7th. Raycon 8th. Tennis Freak Knight, KV 10th. Dan Hilton 11th. Stumpy, who crashed out in quality, could have improved 12th. Tutmine 13th, Tichy 14th, Milsey 15th, and Rocco, who struggled in 16th. Ooh. That's how to read out qualifying results in about 15 seconds. Now then, will anyone press the button? Someone do it. Oh no, it was Eat the Cookie.
Oh, he's got him. We've got him.
They were doing so well. They were doing oh so well.
Excuse any shuffling you can hear from my beanbag, everybody, but it is a superior mode of sitting, and I will not have anyone tell me otherwise.
What, rather than a chair?
Yes.
Okay. A padded chair is not. Okay.
Well, you can make a beanbag into a chair, a bed, a sofa, whatever you want.
Please don't encourage him. Just, please.
Thank you. So let's have a look. We've got 3 guys going for the alternative strategy. That's Stumpy, Darkmark and Titchy. Everyone else is on the soft tyre.
Facts.
Yeah.
I would like to see just a massive slog between the two championship protagonists.
I would as well.
The whole 28 laps.
I would love to see a Hamilton-Rosberg duel in the desert style battle between those two. That would be fantastic. It's all set up and poised to be a great event, but let's see if these two can deliver, and let's see if the rest of the grid can give us something special.
It looks very dark.
It does look dark. I'm going to check and see if I've had any.
Can you check in with your inside information from your colleagues?
I haven't. I'm wondering if Mitch is listening, if he can get some confirmation off the Rebel Boys of the weather. That would be great.
Mitch, the best way to watch it is hide behind the sofa and have your fingers crossed. Because yes, it could be carnage into turn 1.
Tisbo's confirmed dry race. So it's going to be interesting to see when these guys choose to stop and what tyre they choose to go on to. Anything after lap 7 you can probably make to the end on the mediums.
I'm calling it. Someone's going to two-stop and there's going to be a massive dive bomb into the first corner.
It'll be interesting to see. So it's set the graphic to position change.
I'm going to go on board with... No, I'm going to go on board with KV.
Stand by, everybody. I haven't got the camera angle. Gird your loins. 5 lights. There we go. And... away we go in Cotter. It's a shocking start from Perry. Cookie's had a worldie though. So has Cygate. Can Cygate challenge Sergey into turn 1? No, he can't. Perry's dropping through the field.
Oh, KV's had a shocker. Oh, he's out to the side. Everyone's getting squeezed.
A lot of cars running wide. Cookie. Perry's managed to get back in front of him into P4, but they're going side by side into the S's. And Fredo's looking to capitalise. And Cookie's round. And there's wing damage on that Renault.
No, luckily he's not picked. He's collected anyone else. Rocco squeezes out Tichy, and he's going to be aggressive on the soft tire. Rocco's round. He's touched the back of Dark Mark.
Rocco round, and he's got wing damage as well on the Ferrari, I think. But we'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, back up with the leaders. Sergey nearly a second clear of Thomas, who is in close company with Cygate, Perry, and Forza Fredo just behind them.
Stumpy on KV. Here we go.
Stumpy on KV. Let me see if I can get there.
He's going to be on the
going for it.
Medium one.
Brakes early, but covers off Dark Mark. Meanwhile, back up at the front, Perry needs to try and get past the racing point before Sergey gets too far away.
He's chomping at the bit. Oh, that dirty air though, look at that, it's forcing well wide.
Round Rocco's roundabout. Keep an eye on Rocco actually back through there. Oh, Fredo with the back end stepping out. I'm going to go on board with Perry. He's in mode 4, that's overtake mode, he's going to go for it.
Rocco's made it, Rocco's staying out. Well,
staying out is Cookie, that's the question.
I presume Cookie would go in.
KV's managed to go up the... Dartmark's gone up the inside of KV. Now Millsy's having a go at the McLaren as well. And Tichy's in that fight as well. It's
a lot of sliding around.
Oh, KV's gone wide. And that allows Tichy to take P12.
So both the guys who had incidents on the first lap are both staying out. Looks like bit of damage.
We've got Stumpy. Big damage for him. At the top of the hill where he lost it in qualifying. I don't quite know what happened there.
I didn't see it.
He collected someone.
Mills has got past Tichy.
It must have been Tichy collected.
Oh, he's letting back through, I think.
Yeah, I think Stumpy lost it.
Front wing damage potentially right hand side. It looks like.
Yeah, Tichy's got massive front wing damage. It must have been him who he collected. Stumpy collected him.
Tichy goes past Rocco. Rocco down the inside. Adventurous move.
He's pulled it off and he's going to try and go around the outside of Tichy, which... Or is he going to go for a switchback? He's gone for the switchback. Round the outside of your roundabout. Go on.
Oh, Millsy goes round the outside.
Oh, they both run well wide. But I would expect to see Tichy in. Tichy and Millsy both coming in. Keep an eye on what tyres they go on to.
KV's in as well.
KV's in. Let's see. We've got a wing change on the McLaren.
Whoa, Perry, please don't do it. Oh, side by side into the S's, it would have been very, very dangerous.
Raycon, the first man on the penalty list.
Perry's going to have to start taking risks. Sergey's got a 2-second lead on Thomas.
He has. Perry needs to get through, and he needs to get through now. He will have DRS down this straight. This should be an easy... Well, I'd say it should be an easy move, but Cygate will have the drive as well. We see the wing open. That's a perfect camera angle for that one. Side by side with the racing point, but he's going to have the inside. He needs to cut him. He needs to squeeze him though.
Tennis Freak, here he goes. Tennis Freak's going to go down the inside of Raycon, exactly the same corner with DRS. Raycon trying to hang it around the outside, still does.
Raycon's going to have the inside now, and he's going to be able to keep position. Perry did make it through on Cygate, we saw that on stream. And now he's on the back of the Mercedes of Thomas.
riders. Meaning's Dan Hilton's also on the back of these two as well.
Raycon can use his teammates. He is. I'm going to jump back to Perry though, who is now pulling away from Cygate and is right within DRS range of Thomas.
Guys on the stops, Katie went onto the mediums, Mills is on hards, Tichy's going to have to stop again, he's gone to the softs, Stumpy's on the
Tichy's going for the 2-stop. Thomas runs wide at turn 1. Perry not quite close enough to take advantage, but is now within 2/10. Needs to be careful of the dirty air through the S section. Let's ride on board. Look at that effect. Lost all the time he gained. Millsy's past Tichy.
Well, retook place, I think. Tichy round the outside, that would be brave. Obviously on the compound, 2 steps softer than Millsy, so the pace advantage is vastly superior in Tichy's favour.
I've got a message from Matrix. Sergey's running 4.5 laps of extra fuel. And he's still pulling. Indeed he has.
Tennis Freak's done that on Raycon. This time gets it done. Raycon pushing through the corner.
Need to jump back across to that one. Now Dan Hilton's having a sniff as well.
Eat Cookie using, I want to say it's turn 12 to good effect. He is.
It's going to jump across to the battle for P5. Thank you, Robert, for pointing that out to me. Lewis right on the back of Forza Fredo. He will have DRS. Let's see if he can make it stick into turn 1 or if he's going to have to wait for the back straight.
Got yellow flags in sector 1. Oh, Thomas is off.
He's off. There's no wing damage on that Mercedes. Must have just had the back end step out into turn 1. He did run wide there last time around. And I've noticed when I've been doing some of my practice laps, once the soft tyre, and indeed the medium as well, once they start to go off the cliff, your braking points have got to be so much shorter. So much sooner even on compared to when they're at their full life. But back to the battle for P5. Racer on the back of Forza Fredo. Let's jump on board into overtake mode. DRS is open. This should be a simple one. Fredo defends the inside, or feigns to. But that's an easy move for the Red Bull.
Dan Hilton, Tennis Freak. Oh, Dan Hilton's well wide.
Yeah, must have got through on DRS and then outbraked himself. But what Dan Hilton has done is help his teammate out. He's got Tennis Freak outside of DRS by battling him. So great team play from him.
Stumpy's going to join on the back of Millsy. That's 15th.
Stumpy on the
those
back
guys that, and all I'm going to say is those guys that pitted to the medium tyre early on, I don't think they're going to get to the end.
No, they're not. You can't get to the end. Well, you can physically make it to the end on that tyre from there, but you're going to lose so much time at the end of the race. They will probably stop again around lap 18. That's what I'd do.
Millsy went with the right choice, I think. Just doing the hards, going for the final stop still.
I'm hoping for a safety car, which isn't out of the question. It's the next nearest battle on track.
This game is. Oh, Raycon's lost the back end through the S section.
Indeed he has, and that allows Tennis Freak and Dan Hilton through. He was just starting to close in on Forza Fredo as well.
I tell you what, it's exactly what you were talking about a minute ago. It was people's tyres are now starting to
to wear. We are approaching the pit window opening for the soft tyre. Lap 7 is the earliest I would expect anybody to try. Lap 8 or 9 is the dare, like the gambit choice. 10 or 11 is your standard option if you can make them that far. So I would say the majority are going to stop between laps 9 and 11. You might get a couple on lap 8, and if someone's really thinking about having some high aspirations, they might try lap 7, but we'll have to wait and see for that one. Meanwhile, the gap at the front has closed by 6/10 on that last lap between Perry and Sergey.
Gap between Thomas and Sygate, despite Sygate's in.
Sygate's in very early. Let's see what he goes on to.
Thomas was catching him, actually, despite Thomas's little moment earlier on in the lap. And the problem for Sygate is you hope he comes out in some kind of window. He's possibly got one between Cookie and Rocco.
Indeed he has. He should come out in there. Just behind Cookie. He's going to battle into turn one. Not quite.
Probably be in front, but you know, not the end of the world.
No, he's on the hard tyre, so that is definitely him going to the end, but I would suspect he's going to lose out to the other guys, if not initially, when they pit themselves.
The two Haas drivers are very close, but I think if Ray passes downhill, it's going to be pretty pointless because
I've got a yellow in sector 2. That's the worn tyres again, although he's on mediums, so that might just have been driver mistake. Has he got any damage? No, the Alpha still looks good.
Hards, interestingly.
Yeah, he's definitely going to make it to the end, but two Haas boys, Redcon not wanting to compromise his teammate, chooses to stick behind for one more lap.
He's coming in. You see that green? You see the green spanner icon on the dashboard.
That's the pit window open. So yeah, Redcon looks like he might be, because it's not there for Dan Hilton. So Raid's pit window is open because it is lap 7. Perry down to 2.3. The gap now to Sergey. And here comes Raycon.
Lewis up to 4th, Forza Fredo 5th.
Good job from the Red Bull so far. Raycon is in the pits. Is he going to go for the mediums or is he going to go for hards? He's going for the hard tyre.
Hards? Oh no, mediums. Changed. Mediums. No hards.
No, hard tyres. Hard tyres for Raycon, so he's going to the end on those. See, this is interesting because when I did one practice earlier in the week and it recommended soft to hard tyres, and then I did practice later in the week and it's recommended the same, but what I'd noticed earlier on is that you can stretch the soft tyre longer than it says, unless you're really bad on tyre wear. So I wonder if some of these guys have not had a chance to do a race run this week, and maybe it's starting to compromise them a little bit in terms of strategy. We'll soon find out.
It's the conservative way to go, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Tennis Freak closing in on Forza Fredo.
Tichy's also closing in on the back of KV. That gap's come down a little bit. Stumpy's picked up 3 seconds, but he wasn't the first victim board.
Tennis Freak all over the back of Fredo now. Come on, the chat's been quiet for ages, guys, come on. Give us some opinions. Who's going to win the race? Matrix saying Perry should try the undercut. I agree with you, I think he should. But it's just judging it right. He's got to make sure he gets those mediums to the end of the race himself.
Well, at the moment, whilst he's bringing that gap down,
Thomas and Racer are in. Thomas onto the mediums. And Lewis also onto the mediums. I think Perry's going to stop this lap.
Yeah, he's closing still though. That's 2 tenths in the first sector.
He is, and there's not a massive difference in their ERS level, only maybe 10%.
The Cookie has got past Thomas, obviously Thomas coming out of the pits. So these guys fall in, both of them fell into a nice little window between Dark Mark and Cookie, so a little bit of free air, especially with Cookie looking probably to come in.
Perry pushing very hard on this lap. I think he is going to come in, but so too is Sergey. I think he's not pushing as hard, but he is still looking like he's pitting in.
We've got Tennis Freak and Forza Fredo.
We have
Tennis Freak got past with the DRS, and
Fredo's going to put it up. It's gone late on the brakes, and he's kept it. Has he kept it? Oh no, ran wide, but he's going to go deep again on the brakes.
I tell you what, who's going to be there? Dan Hilton in 5th at the moment is waiting to pounce.
He is. These two guys also on their pit strategy. Sergey does pit, as does Perry. Both leaders in the pits. .6 the gap between them as they head to the boxes. Perry's in. Clean stop.
Scott last cookie, that's quite important.
He has. Tennis Freak is in. Fredo has kept going and will assume de facto lead.
Dan Hilton's kept going, and he's going to get in front of Perry, I think. Oh no,
Indeed
Perry's going
he
to
is.
fight back. He knows how important it is. I think Dan Hilton's let him go.
I think he has. I think that's sensible from him. It's only a matter of time. Both those guys on medium tyres. Perry has made time up in the pits though.
Yep.
He's made around a second. Although Sergey was behind Forza Fredo. What's happened to Fredo? Oh, he's lost it. He's in the wall.
He's round. No,
Don't run into Lewis. One lap too many for Fredo. And Millsy's retired.
Sector 3. But Perry's on the attack for Sergey, Daddy, up front.
He is. I can see it. Sergey is defending, but Perry's going to go down the inside. This is what we wanted to see. The Alpha's forced wide and he squeezes the Red Bull. Is there going to be an undercut here from Perry and try and cut back on him? Not quite. Covered well by the Russian. Perry takes the wide line. Sergey goes tight. Perry will have the drive through Rocco's roundabout.
Thomas gets to the inside. Dan Hilton. I think Mark got past Raycon by the looks of things. Sector yellow flag, sector 1. Don't know who that was for.
Show myself. Perry will have DRS and he's potentially close enough for a run into turn 1. Sergey's pushing hard. Perry's not. He's recharging his battery.
I was going to say both similar ERS. They know it's crunch time. It's now or never.
This could be the battle that wins the race. Dan Hilton's in the pits. He's going to go onto medium tyres.
Sorry, Danny. Apparently, it was contact between Fredo and Tennis Freak.
Ah.
Robert and Blaze both reporting in.
Fair play. Thank you, guys. Forza Fredo's gone to the hard tyre. I feel that's a mistake. He could have easily made it to the end on the mediums, but he's guaranteed himself for getting to the finish now.
Maybe not. Sorry, I was talking in my own head. I was wondering how Rocco was so far behind. Possibly.
Oh, we've got Thomas and Sargate going for it. The two leaders couldn't quite sort anything out there. Thomas takes third position. And I don't know what's happened to Lewis, but he's dropped back over that pit stop phase from the other guys.
He got stuck behind Cookie. Sorry, not Cookie, Dan Hilton.
Fair play. Darkmark now trying to get past Raycon, but the American defends his line well at his home circuit. I'm keeping a watchful eye on that time at the front between those two, if it starts to close.
Trading fastest laps as well. Got a good run though into turn 1.
He has. Perry back down the ERS level, right under the rear wing of that Alfa Romeo.
Let's have a look who hasn't stopped yet. So Dartmouth, the only person not to stop yet, currently sitting 7th on those medium tyres.
I would expect him to go to lap 17 or 18.
Cookie's just gone with the fastest lap.
This is the closest Perry's ever been to the back of Sergey's Alfa Romeo. And I remember the quote I gave last year at this point. He's going to be squeezing every pip out of that Honda Lemon. He's going to go for it down the inside for the lead of the race. Sergey squeezes well. Perry forces him wide, but the Alpha's not out of this yet. He's coming back through. Little touch between the two. Great defending from Sergey, and Perry's on the attack still. Can he get the switch back?
Right.
He can. Round the
Right.
outside of Rocco's roundabout. Who's going to take it? Should be Sergey, but you never know. Great driving from these two. The reigning champion against the upstart. We go for another lap. In terms of ERS, Perry just around 40%. Sergey has 50% more than he does. He's on 60. Great camera there, seeing those two fight through the S section. Let's head out of sector 1 into sector 2. Perry's closing in again on the back of that Alpha. This might be his last opportunity before he has to recharge the battery. Let's see what he can do. No, Dre, so that's always yours. Always your position. Robert's just pointing out that Raycon has undercut Tennis Freak at the pit stops. That's a good spot. Well done.
Yeah, it's not helped because he's now stuck behind Dark Mark as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a very late move.
But Tennis Freak should have DRS. Yeah, and Tennis Freak is through.
Fight it too hard because he should be coming in soon.
Yeah. Let's jump back up to the leaders. So Rocco's roundabout and through the final two corners to start lap 14 of 28.
Sergey running wide. Perry sliding a bit, both struggling. Eat the Cookie and Dark Mark are trading places. Eat the Cookie around the outside. Better traction with those fresher tyres. Both on the same compound, however.
He's through past Dark Mark and then he'll now start to close up to Tennis Freak and try and get through.
Quite comfortable on these medium tyres at the moment.
He is.
Probably one of the quicker drivers out there other than the leading two.
Yeah, he's had a terrible start, managed to fight his way back though. He's doing well in P8 right now and he will be able to make it to the end on those tyres as well, so...
Also,
good job from Cookie.
Look out for Lewis is gaining time on Cygate.
Good spot. Sergey's starting to put the hammer down. The gap is slowly increasing between these two.
But it's going to slowly decrease as Perry's got DRS.
Indeed it will. Perry needs to be a little bit smarter with his ERS. He's only on 40%. Sergey's on 60 still.
Both saving. Pushing.
This is the thing. Like, Perry's had a couple of looks.
Needs a Cookie on Tennis Freak.
I'm still with the leaders. I'm going to miss that one. Was that down at the end of the straight?
He got him with better traction out of the hairpin down the straight.
Ah.
Pretty much got the move done before turn 12.
Yeah. Right, we come around to start lap 15. We are halfway through this race and we have a battle of the ages emerging at the front of the field. Perry and Sergey, the reigning champion against the upstart.
Perry's also reclaimed fastest lap as well.
Indeed he has, that's an extra point.
We know he wants more than that.
Does, he wants to win here. Wait to see them appear into frame. There we go. Perry with a much tighter line through that section and he should be able to catch up a little bit down here. He's close enough maybe to have a go if he wants to try it.
This is the closest he's been.
You might be right. Let's see what happens. He's going for it. He's in overtake mode.
He's going to get it.
He's going for it. He's going in. Oh! Sergey keeps it.
Chichi in the pits. On the soft tyre again.
I'm not sure about that one. He's going to have to stop again for mediums or hards at some point. He might as well just stop for mediums there.
He's got medium soft. Okay.
He will have to stop again unless he's going to really look after those tyres. But you never know, he might be able to do it. Can you keep an eye on the leaders for me? I'm going to jump to Racer and Cygate, because I have a feeling there could be an overtake coming there in a moment.
Oh, Perry very late on the brakes. And then he runs into the back of Sergey.
I'm jumping back across. He's getting real close now. Oh, the dirty air!
Just there. He was following so well actually during that. I was thinking, how is he keeping so close to him? And then the dirty air just got too much. Could that be that little mistake that lets off he needs, Sergey?
As long as he can stay within the second, yep, he'll have DRS to close back up. No, you don't want to be in mode 4, Perry. You want to save that ERS. Perry now running low on battery.
DRS, mode 4. So I get defence to the inside. It should be a fairly straightforward move.
Yep, and he's through. Now he needs to pull away so that the Ford Racing Point can't come back at him. I nearly did it myself there.
He's going to copy Lewis, do exactly the same thing on Raycon.
Yep, down the inside. Raycon's going to hang it around the outside of him though. Great recovery.
Cookie giving space to his fellow driver, but probably a bit too much and compromise his own line. Although
he's going down the inside there, but that's not the best place to do it. Raid will have the inside of Rocco's roundabout. Should hold his position. Cookie's next move will be up into turn 1. Unless he runs wide like that. Raidcon does go wide. He's going to keep it round the outside there though. Who's going to have DRS? It's Cookie, so that should be moved on and dusted. Although Raid might have another look at it here. He is doing. Into turn 1. Cookie keeps the position, but fair play to Raidcon, keeping the battle going.
Gap out front. Here we go again.
Half a second between
surely
the two.
I think it is. This surely be the time to go through it again.
Yeah, but do you want to go through here? He's not got enough battery to keep himself there. He's going to go for it. Forces Sergey wide, and Sergey's keeping his car on the inside. He's going to squeeze the American and keep the lead. Perry going for his wide line and the switch back. I know he wants the lead. He needs to keep himself calm and charge that battery up before going for it, because if he gets through, he's not going to have enough to defend the next time around.
So we're going to have to contain ourselves in a minute.
Did we are lap 18.
It's going to be very difficult to do so. These two.
You watch, it'll be sod's law. He'll get through on lap 19. But, one more time around, and then we'll have our silent lap in honour of Antoine Hubert, who, of course, tragically passed away at the weekend in the Formula 2 accident.
Quickly before we do, obviously, pay our respects to Antoine. When will be the crossover point? Because I think the guys on the hards are now starting to make inroads on the guys on the mediums.
There is a chance of that happening, and Cygate I think is going to be the one to keep an eye on, maybe Redcon as well. I'm not entirely sure when the crossover point is.
We see. I feel
50% niche.
Now dropping.
So Perry using this time round to charge the battery. Try and get some energy back in that car. Forza Fredo on Stumpy.
Yeah, he runs into the back of it. Leaders into Rocco's roundabout. Perry's still pretty much pushing Sergey through there.
Yep. He's going to keep looking. Might have a move into turn 1, but we'll have to answer any questions after that. Please, would you all join us now in a lapse silence for Antoine Hubert? Rest in peace, Antoine. You will be sorely missed. Back to the action. Perry got through. Perry got through. At the curve, he went for the undercut, forced Sergey wide, maybe a little bit aggressively. We'll have to see if Sergey takes any offence to that.
And the move I saw, which was very exaggerating, was Fredo on Stumpy. Fredo was on the grass, down the back straight into turn 12, got the move done. Stumpy tried to switch back, but Fredo held him out, so Stumpy has peered into the soft tyre.
That will take him to the end. I did see another move, but I think that might have been Stumpy in the pits. But now this is the crucial point for Perry. Can he get away from that Alfa Romeo? Sergey and him, there's 10% ERS between them. The Alfa with the advantage on that front. Time round. So Perry needs to put the hammer down, get himself outside of a second range.
We were also saying how Perry wasn't saving his ERS, and now he's pretty much got the same as Sergey, so he's done pretty well in that respect as well.
He has. To get past. Managed to claw back most of his energy, actually, to the point where him and Sergey now there's only 15% between them, whereas before there was nearly 40.
Lewis and Thomas' gap is pretty much the same. Sergey's still hanging in there with Lewis, however, he's struggling on the ERS front, and he's also currently marginal on fuel. So any tyre advantage that he's got is not really going to extract to its full potential.
We'll jump down there in a minute. Perry, a little bit of a back end slide there into turn 1, but we've got the Ferrari of Rocco approaching in front of these two.
Fredo's defending well on those hard lines, but I think Dark Mark's just going to get him for outright grip.
Perry's had a poor S section there. I think his rear tyres might be heading towards the end of their life. Sergey does pick up 3 seconds though. And Sergey's going to go down the inside at the hairpin, take the place, and will have DRS as well. But he does have 3 seconds. Can you check and see if Perry has a penalty?
Sergey has 3 seconds. I didn't spot that.
Yeah, he got it coming out of the S section at the top of sector 1.
Perry's 1 warning away.
So all Perry doesn't need to come through now. All he has to do is keep it clean. Rocco isn't making that too easy for Perry.
Oh no!
There will be some foul language come out of that Red Bull cockpit right now.
Luckily, it's not cost him too much, but it could be just enough.
It could be. Rocco runs very wide.
So Sergey's not looking too best up front. These boys putting pressure on each other, obviously showing and starting to crack a little bit.
little bit. It's the first time Sergey's really been challenged for the lead of a race, and it's been a great contest so far. We've got 6 laps to go.
Oh, Dark Mark has collided with Forza Fredo.
Dark Mark and Fredo.
Dark Mark's in the wall, left.
Whole wing's gone for Dark Mark. Fredo.
He's so lucky he hasn't retired there.
Is it a heavy shunt?
Due to the impact. Oh, it was.
Yellow flag, sector 1. Who's that?
That'd be for Rocco, probably getting out of the way of people.
Yeah, Thomas. Matrix has just made the point. Thomas isn't that far away from the leaders.
Getting in the way of Lewis though now, and you know and he's made contact with Lewis.
Does the Red Bull have damage? I think the front left.
Yeah, front left, and it's costed Lewis a place as well to Sygate, who they are battling with. Rocco obviously not respecting the blue flags, needs to get out of the way a little bit
better
than what he did.
than that. Alright, that'll be in the... Yep. Unlucky for him. Yeah, Matrix was making the point. Thomas is not that far away from those two at the front, so if they keep battling the way they have been...
Thomas unfortunately has a penalty.
Does he?
Yes, he's quite close to 2. Hence why I didn't make a big song and dance.
Yeah.
Yet.
Thank
you, Matrix.
Stranger things have happened in contests of speed races this week are examples of that. What are you going to do though if you're Perry right now? Are you going to play the safe game, or are you going to go for the position?
You think you would play the safe game, but you know what's going to happen, don't you? You play that safe game and then it only takes one corner.
And then you get one, yeah.
And that's the thing, that could be on the last lap, but by that point you're going to have to make some kind of move to possibly win the race. We'll just double check. So Sergey is on 1 penalty and 1 warning, and Perry is on 2 warnings. It's whether Perry can force Sergey to make a mistake, pick up another warning from somewhere.
Well, we need to get another 2, won't he? I think if Sergey gets another penalty, then, and as long as Perry doesn't get any more warnings in that time, then I think it's checkmate essentially. See, it's almost a shame that he got that penalty because it has sort of sterilised the racing a little bit. Because Perry doesn't need to go for it; he can sit there. I'm going to jump down to Cookie in P6 in a minute because he... Oh, Perry's going for it into turn 1.
I saw it coming. Oh,
I had a look at it.
Does squeeze him.
It's unfair from these two. Perry keeping Sergey on his toes.
I'm watching Cookie now because Cookie is trying to catch up with Racer, who's got that front wing damage. Rocco needs to pick a side so Cookie can get past. You're not racing for position.
Perry's definitely keeping Sergey honest here.
Oh, Lewis is losing so much time because of that front wing damage.
Perry's in the prime position. I think he's going to go for the move here.
Yeah, I think he will.
Yep, he does. He's clean through. Oh, Sergey's late. Sergey's always later on the brakes. This time Perry is through, but Sergey's coming back. Perry will have the inside line, but Sergey might get the switch back on him.
Oh, Perry was trying to try and park it. That's what he was plan.
Sergey runs wide. Now you see.
Need to gets the move done on Lewis.
Indeed he does.
Who is due to that unfortunate event. Rocco, that is it's kind of ruining his race.
Yeah. Perry now with the lead on track and on penalties.
Sergey down the inside, sends it late.
Little touch. We had a really bad camera angle, so we couldn't see it.
Perry's done really well there. He saw him coming and tried to avoid collision. It was a very late move from Sergey. Desperation, I think, from the Russian. It's the first time we've seen this.
He has to get 3 seconds clear, or he has to force Perry into another error. Perry has the driving seat, both literally and figuratively. He just needs to keep himself clean. That's all he has to do, and keep within 3 seconds. Sergey's the one that's got to push here. The yellow.
Sector 1, that'll be Rocco.
He spun it at turn 1 again.
Yep.
And there's major wing damage on that Ferrari. And Perry's going to go for it again. Sergey only has 22% ERS left. Oh, careful lads. Let's keep it clean. We know there's a championship at stake, but we don't want you to lose any body work at this stage. Coming into the final 3 laps when they cross the line this time around to start lap 26. This has been a great battle. This really has been Hamilton-Rosberg-esque. I will do. Pure Blades, I will. And I think Robert's right in suggesting him for driver of the day as well. That said, everyone, if you can get your votes in for driver of the day and for...
Yeah, and that'll be a race ban for Rocco.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's just deliberately crashed into the wall.
I wonder what... I thought I'd keep an eye on him to see what he was going to do after he spun round, and I watched him the whole entire lap. Oh dear.
Oh dear indeed. Sergey running low on fuel now. And unless Perry makes a mistake, I think it's his race to lose. Sergey dives for it, gets a nudge in the back for his trouble, and then Perry goes back through.
Have some of that. Has been
Sergey's looking down the inside and he's gone back in front, but Perry's going to have the outside and the traction. Great helicopter shot of all of this. Sergey around the outside of Rocco's roundabout and he takes the lead back again.
Kavey's got past Tichy, and Kavey on fresher tyres is going to be the man on the move, possibly to get that last point off his teammate. That'd be one to look out for.
Certainly will be, but I'm going to stick with the leaders. I'm sorry anybody else who's here to spot or here to support any of the other drivers, but these two at the front, this is for the championship. Whoever wins this, I think, has the driving seat in the championship, so we're going to stick with them. They've changed positions again. Perry retakes the lead. Sergey, I feel now, is going to be 1-1 in a way. I think he just cut the corner there from a second penalty.
Hang on, I can confirm that for you. Yes, that was a warning.
Sergey's 1 away.
He picks up 3 seconds, and that's going to affect his possibly going for 4th.
Maybe. Depends how many Sergey has.
Yeah, he's got 2 more than Sygate, so he really needs to get past the racing points.
I'm going to put more emphasis on that. Sergey retakes the lead. Perry's going to go for his undercut, for his switchback. Not quite enough, took too much speed in, ran a little bit deep.
Can we have another 28 laps of this, please?
Oh, it'd be fabulous, wouldn't it? We've got one more lap to enjoy. Sergey has the lead on track, but Perry has the overall race lead once penalties are considered. They've got 1 lap to go. Anything can happen. Both of them 1-1 away from their next respective penalty. One for Perry.
Must be flowing through those veins at the moment.
Must be. Perry at his home Grand Prix. Just keep it clean. Sergey needs to push to try and get away 3 seconds. Yeah, Perry's taking it easy. Look at that. 3/10 he's dropped through there.
Watching the battle for fourth, but it may not. It's going to be decided on penalties. I want to see it on track between these two, Sygate and Eat the Cookie.
I'll jump back across to them. Eat the Cookie with what looks like a French flag themed helmet. If that's not his normal helmet, I don't know the driver's helmets off the top of my head. If that isn't his normal one, I'm assuming that's in tribute to Antoine. It's very poignant. He's going to look for it on the inside of Sygate, but he covers it off. Oh, Sygate runs deep, and Cookie takes it. I'm going to jump back to the leaders as they're coming through the final 2 corners. Sergey still has it on track, but he has a 3-second time penalty that should allow Perry to win his home race in Austin and take 7 points out of the lead that Sergey has. I don't know what the point situation is. Does that mean he retakes it? Does he retake
points?
So Perry retakes the lead. Oh, Sergey leads by 2 points now with 2 races to go. Thomas comes home 3rd in the Mercedes, so we'll get him in as well.
Hang on the maps.
Sygate retook 4th after Cookie's penalties. Lewis got ahead of Raycon. I don't know if that's on penalties or not, but gets P6, which, all said and done, I think after what happened he'll be happy with. Especially going 20 laps on those medium tyres, that's a fair achievement. Tennis Freak 8th, Forza Fredo and Dan Hilton battling for P9. I don't know what happened to KV, but Dan Hilton is going to get a point here, barring any major penalties. No, he's not. KV takes it on penalties and jumps to P9 actually.
Oh, Tichy missed up by 10th.
Oh, and then Stumpy is the last man across the line. We said it would have to be a hell of a race to live up to last week, but I think that was pretty close. We need to come up with a cool name for that, Matt. Hamilton and Rosberg had the duel in the desert. What do we call this one? The Tango in Texas. If we want to go cringy.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Contest of speeds, Tango in Texas. Perry versus Sergey, and it's the American that comes out on top on home soil. 26 points in the bag with the fastest lap as well for him. So that blows the championship wide open for those two. Thomas with a respectable 3rd. That's your podium. Sygate gets 4th, Cookie 5th after a great recovery drive from that early spin and damage. Lewis P6, he'll be happy with that, managed to hold position. Raycon P7, Tennis Freak 8th, KV 9th and Forza Fredo in 10th. Those are your point scorers. Tichy, Dan Hilton and Stumpy. And then Rocco, Darkmark and Millsies are your DNF drivers. Fastest lap. Did it go to Perry or did Cookie get it?
Tichy.
Tichy got it. So 25 points to Perry then. My mistake, not 26.
Driver of the day is going to be a very hard and difficult decision.
Okay, right. So let me adjust my audio and then we'll get some of these guys in. Let's go for Perry, Thomas, and I promised I'd do Cookie. So we want Perry, I don't know where Thomas is. He's not on there. I'll have to search for him. So that one, and Cookie. So while we wait for those guys, any questions you want me to ask them, get them in. It seems to me that Cookie's going to end up with driver of the day for that comeback drive, which I'm happy to give him. I don't know about you, Matt, if you have any major qualms.
Don't know, but apparently I'm the irrelevant commentator, so apparently my opinion's invalid.
I saw that. I wasn't going to say anything.
So, you know.
Okay, so while we're waiting for... Yeah. Let's have a chat with you two. Let's start off with Cookie. Great recovery drive from you. You've got your fan club in the chat.
I know.
So,
You wanted a shout out. So I guess this is it. Big up the Cookie grandstands, as they like to be known.
Yeah. So, like I say, great recovery drive from you. What happened early on? Was it just a little bit of contact on the first lap? And
well, I was side by side with Perry going into the S's, and I just sort of lost my rhythm and slowed down. Everyone came, surrounded me. Ended up hitting a McLaren, I think, and just spun. It was a racing incident, but it was very annoying because I thought, oh, here we go again.
yeah, but you did well to get back up, especially to get a decent number of points of a P5 as well, and then barring penalties you'd have ended up 4th. So would you have been happy with that at the start of the day if you'd said yeah P5, or would you have hoped for more?
Top 5, I would have been happy.
Nice.
I think my highest finish is 6, so yeah, top 5.
Every cloud then, yeah.
Next podium. Yeah.
Next step. So hopefully next time we see you, it will be for a podium place, or even a race win. And I think mostly down to your fan club, but also by common opinion, you've been given the Driver of the Day award as well. So congratulations for that one.
I could get Driver of the Day every week because of my fan club.
If this was a democracy, then yes. But
yes.
I like to rule with an iron fist.
Good on you.
But yeah, so well done on your race. Well done on Driver of the Day. Hopefully we'll see you again next week in Brazil.
Thank you. Yep. Hopefully.
And then race winner, Perry.
Yo.
Home soil. Race victory. We've called that battle the Tango in Texas.
Well,
Talk us through it.
Appropriate.
Talk us through it.
Yes. So, like qualifying, I was really surprised and kind of glad to see how close and competitive it was, and I knew that it would be a tough race. Off the line, I don't know if it was just a bit of a lag or a glitch or what, but I'm like 99% sure my lights went off later than everybody else's. So that's kind of why I got the dreadful start. I know there was an incident, Thomas went for a bit of a dive bomb, and I thought that he wasn't there yet, so if I turned on him, that's my bad, but I didn't think that he was there yet into turn 1 once, and then, yeah, I mean, after the pit stop, I knew that Sergey and I think Sergey had a little bit more pace on fresher tires, but as the tires went, I felt like I had a little bit more pace, but I felt like he also probably was able to save ERS a little bit better than I did, and it was just a scrap. I mean, I probably ran him wide and didn't race him as clean as I could have a couple times, and then I know that he kind of did the same to me, so I think we're on pretty good understanding there. And just it was just an intense battle, and then I knew at one point I had Mitch telling me in my ear that he had a time penalty, so I knew that even as long as I could stay in that battle and know that not to risk it all, just stay close enough that I'll probably come out on top. Although I still I wanted to win on the track just in case he can get that penalty removed. But yeah, I just knew USA 2 was going to be one of the last tracks. I think Abu Dhabi for me especially is kind of a question mark, but Brazil is definitely not one of my stronger suits, so I had to get some points back in the championship to Sergey at the United States. So yeah, just a really fun race and a really sweaty battle with Sergey, and I have the feeling hopefully we'll be able to do that the next 2 weekends.
Oh, I hope so as well, because if it's anything like tonight, that'll be a joy to watch. Congratulations on your race win. Hopefully we'll see you next week. And seeing as Thomas hasn't arrived, I think that's what we're going to end it for this evening. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you two for joining us for some interviews. albeit they were short. Thank you, Matt, for joining me as always.
It's all right, mate. No worries.
And thank you all at home very much for watching tonight. It's been a pleasure of ours to commentate over that race, and I'm sure it's been a pleasure of yours to watch it as well. A couple of things before we sign off. If you want to watch these guys race again, and after that, why would you not? They will be back on Monday next week, same time, same place, racing around Brazil's circuit in Sao Paulo. I can't remember, the Interlagos circuit, that's what it's called. So you can tune in for that. But if you can't wait till then, tiers 2 and 1 will be racing tomorrow and Wednesday night respectively. Again, 10 PM UK time on this channel. You can tune in live, or you can head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/contest of speed. And you can watch the races back whenever you like. Final thing before we sign off, if you guys are enjoying Contest of Speed, we would be very appreciative if on your Twitch channels you would be willing to host us whilst we are live and you are off air, so we can try and increase our following and draw in audiences from around the world. We'd be very appreciative of that. We value all our fans and hope that you value us enough to warrant a place on your Twitch channels. But I will stop waffling, stop plugging, and sign off for the evening. Thank you all very much for watching again. Good night, see you soon.